Hey guys, have you ever smelled gas before? And no, I don't mean that type of gas. I mean exhaust emissions, or if you've ever smelled evaporative gas. Now, my wife's car has been having an issue. You could smell fuel, you could smell gasoline whenever you park it. And we got to fix that. Problem is, I don't have the tools for it, but Amazon does, and they have it for cheap. And I ordered a tool today. And so the video for today is learning how to use a tool because I've never used one before. So you guys are going to learn with me. We're going to diagnose my wife's car, fix it because it has a check engine light on, and I don't want to be smelling gas all the time. It's nasty when I smell it when I fart, and I also don't want to smell it from my wife's car. So let's get it going. Let's drop that intro. All right, guys, so now this is where I'm gonna tell you guys, there's a little disclaimer. I do get paid through my Amazon affiliate links. So if you like any of the stuff that I'm using today and you see it in my description below, you'll be able to actually purchase it. And I do get a small kickback if you do purchase it. Autoline Pro is a smoke fluid. I've seen people use baby oil, but we all know that Puff Daddy has it all. So we can't use that right now. So we gotta use Autoline Pros. On top of that, we did buy the smoke leak detector from Amazon. Like I said, I will put in the description of this video. I'm gonna actually put the link to buy one of these. Now I already used it. I wanted to make sure it worked before I actually made the video. Now, no, I didn't diagnose it, but I do know that the smell is coming from back here somewhere. So most likely it's somewhere underneath the fuel tank. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna lift up the car. We're gonna put some jack stands on it because I obviously don't wanna get crushed. And we're gonna set this up, put on the fuel tank. It actually comes with a whole bunch of accessories that you could use. Now I'm gonna use the Pumper 9 3000 to obviously inflate this where the fuel cap goes. We know it's not the fuel cap because I tightened it a little bit more. Still didn't do the job. You can still smell it. And by the way, you can actually smell it from inside of the cab. And obviously it goes away whether you have the AC on or if you have the windows down, it does go away. But it does pose a threat, and we want to be able to diagnose where it's coming from, fix it. I'm hoping it's just a hose. If it is just a hose, it'd be a quick fix. If it's not a hose, then we gotta order some parts. Now we are on a small slope, so we want to make sure that there's a nice hardy piece of wood under the front tire. That way that the car doesn't go forward. You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Okay, so we set some jack stands on the pinch welds as well. That way that, you know, it's elevated and it's not just standing on the jack itself. Now we're gonna open up the fuel cap, take the fuel cap off. We're gonna go grab the Pumper Numper 3000. You gotta close this little valve in the back because or else if it's open, you guys can hear that, the air escapes out of it. So you close it and then you're gonna grab this, put it in there, and then we're gonna pump it. And what it basically does is it creates a seal on here. That way that the fumes don't escape. And also, of course, the smoke doesn't escape. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up the machine. It does run on 12 volts, meaning I gotta get a battery for it. And the battery that I do have, it might die before we're done with everything. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna grab a battery. I'm gonna connect it to the charger, to a slow charger, a trickle charger, and then connect the smoke detector to it. All right, so here we go. We have a trickle charger to that battery. And then the posts right there, it runs up to the smoke leak detector. And as you guys can see, it's got power. And so now all we gotta do is turn it on. But first, we gotta add some liquid into it. Autoline Pro smoke fluid. So what you do is you're gonna open up the top, as so, as such. Open this up, and you're gonna add a little bit into it. And that is more than enough for what we're gonna be using it for. So then we're gonna close it back up, hang it back up. And then I'm gonna hold this so you guys can see the actual smoke coming out. So let me go ahead and turn it on now. As you guys can hear, probably the machine is already going on. It's very quiet. The machine's super quiet. And check this out. I don't know if you guys can see it. I can see it already with my eyes. Oh, yeah, you can see it. But hold on, wait for it. It'll turn really white. You guys can see it's nice and getting more and more white. So what we do now is we're gonna put it right here. Trying to do this with one hand is kind of hard, but I get it on there. And as you guys can see, no smoke's coming out through here. It's actually gonna be coming down from the bottom. So I'm gonna grab the creeper now and navigate my way down there. Take my baseball cap off. Don't worry about my emo hair, my Spider-Man 3 hair. If I do my hair, it actually looks nice, okay? But I don't have it done right now because it's windy. Oh, you guys can probably see it. There's smoke right here already. Can you guys see the smoke coming out? I can see the smoke coming out. We'll have to take off this exhaust, I think. I see it, I just don't know where it's coming from. Coming from the top of the tank. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna lift up the car more and then, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and lift up the car more and then take off the covers and see where the leak's coming from. But man, you can see a lot of it. It's coming from the top, very top of this fuel tank. So I gotta take off this exhaust system as well. All right, so I got the kids cleaning up these. These are the plastic covers that were underneath the car. They had some caked on mud. Yeah, they used to be black. They had some caked on mud. Watch. All of that came from there. Plus whatever was on top of me came from there. I dusted myself off right now already. Okay, so let me show you guys what I've done so far. I disconnected the exhaust from right here. That's already disconnected. The fuel tank is hanging off the two front ones and off of the exhaust system as well. I didn't want to pull it all the way down because there is still fuel in there. I did put fuel yesterday. We went dancing last night to the club. We were dropping it down and everything until I got a cramp on my leg. But we almost didn't make it home. I had like 6 miles left to the gallon. 6 miles left till empty. And I was like, you know what? Let me just put gas. Even though I knew I was going to do this today, I put only $20, but $20 I guess went a little bit more than what I thought. But we do have the endoscope. So I'm going to turn on the camera, turn on the little thingy, set you guys up, and we're going to see where this leak is coming from. So give me a second. Let me power up the endoscope. Endoscope is powered on. And let's see smoke coming from up there. I think there's a way to access the fuel tank from the top. I'm gonna check the owner's manual real quick. All right, so there is access through the top. And I'll show you guys that access right now. But I found the leak. It's not an okay leak. So get ready. You guys see this wet spot right there? You guys see that? That's not good at all. See the leak right there? So hopefully we can get some JB weld and weld that thing, but I'm trying to figure out where it got cut for it to happen in the first place. I think it just rubbed itself right here.
Is it my driving?
No, it's not your driving. It just cut itself, I guess, how the tank is manufactured. But man, it was leaking fuel through there too. Go ahead and turn off that little machine, babe. It's a metal tank, so somebody in the comment section is probably gonna be like, why don't you weld it? You don't want to weld gasoline. That tank will explode on me. You could do it. There's ways to do it, but I'm not gonna divulge into all those. Yeah, let me show you guys the access. So there is access to be able to go in there. And I was honestly hoping it was either this vent tube or that vent tube, but it's not. And you actually got to take off the seat to get to all that. So I'm gonna mix up some JB Weld, throw it on there, and hopefully it holds. So I'm gonna clean it up and everything, put you guys to charge and do all that. But take a look at it. Little machine. If this wasn't working, I would have had to take off the whole tank and try to figure out where that leak was coming from. This actually made it a lot easier and simpler for me to actually do it. The reason it started leaking fuel also was because this thing is pushing air into the fuel tank, into the fuel system. So it's actually creating pressure outward. So it's, you know, spewing fuel to it, and then that's why it's leaking fuel. It has many uses, by the way. It doesn't just, you don't have to just check the EVAP system. You could check your exhaust, see where the exhaust is leaking. You could check your intake, see where the intake is leaking if you got an intake leak. If you have a vacuum leak, you could put it into your house, into the plumbing, see where there's a leak coming from. So it has a lot of uses. So like I said, I'm gonna put it in the description below of this video so you guys can pick one up. And like I said, I do get a small kickback if you purchase something from any of my Amazon links, which would I would greatly appreciate it, and you guys could actually help me out with that as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix up some JB Welds, clean that up real good, make sure that there's nothing to prevent the JB Weld from actually sticking to it. And so yeah, so let me put you guys to charge and do all that, and then once the fix is done, I'll show you guys how it looks, and then we'll throw on the smoke machine again, and hopefully it doesn't, you know, come out anymore. So give me 1 second. I had some epoxy laying around, so mixing it now. I basically cleaned up the area really good. Use sandpaper. I can't use, you know, the what is it called, the metal grinder, to take off all that stuff. So I used sandpaper as much as I could, scuff up the area, that way the epoxy will actually stick and adhere to the metal. And so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna put the epoxy on there. I have some used rubber tires from my Harley, which what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually cut them and put them on there, layer on it. That way that the metal doesn't grind with each other anymore, and it won't actually, what is it called? It won't actually rub it and break it again. And as you guys can see, I cleaned it all up as much as I could. Like I said, sandpaper is your best bet. And let's throw some of this epoxy on there, and hopefully it sticks, and hopefully it doesn't leak out. Meanwhile, I'm gonna be looking for a tank at the pickup parts. We're gonna give it a minute to dry up, and then we're gonna come back and add a second layer. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that dry up. It's nice and thick on there. Let it dry up a little bit, and then like I said, I'm gonna come back and do a second layer on there. And now I know it ran a little bit, but we got the second layer ready. And apply it on there. And now that it's nice and tacky, the second layer will adhere to the first layer. Oh no, I got a little bit of dirt in there. There we go. Now we're gonna wait a little bit more, and we're gonna add a third layer on there. All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and layer on that third layer. There we go. Oh yeah, it's a lot more tackier now. I actually waited a little bit longer. I put together the whole inside already. I ain't gotta be up there anyways, so I put it all together. I put put it all back together and stuff. But just gotta do this. And then once it gets tacky again, what I'm gonna do is I cut up this piece from that tire that I told you guys about. This piece right here, and I'm just gonna lay it on top like this, and then put, jack up the fuel tank, put the cinches back on it, and hopefully that piece of tire will help it so it doesn't rub anymore, metal to metal, which, if you guys know anything, metal to metal is not good. It'll actually create breaks and stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and let this dry up for about 40 minutes, and then after that, that's when we're gonna go ahead and test it again, make sure that there's no smoke coming out of it. All right, as you guys can see, I'm wearing a sweater now because it is cold outside, but we let it basically rest good enough. Oh, and like I told you guys, I already put the seats back in there. You guys can't see that, but I put the seats back on there already. So we're gonna go down there, take a look at it, make sure it's not, bad anymore. All right, smoke detector is connected. We're gonna go ahead and turn it on. Make sure smoke's coming out of the little teeth. Okay, smoke's coming out of it. Okay, connect it. And let's go check it out down there. Oh, this thing is nice and hard. Okay, so if it leaks, it'll probably make a little bubble before it starts leaking. No leaks. I think we're good. All right, cool beans. We are golden. No leaks. It would have already leaked. Look at this. That's because there's way too much pressure. And this thing's already filled up. Watch. Nice. So we solved the problem. Now what we're going to do is we're going to leave that open. Let all the steam come out of there. I'm going to go ahead and unhook the machine. So like I said, guys, if you guys want one of these machines, check out the link in my description below. Go ahead and buy one. Helps out the channel when you buy something from my links. And also, I mean, it'll help you out. I will also be using it on the Mercedes. It has an exhaust leak, so I gotta fix that. I'll show you guys that probably in a YouTube short. But now we're gonna go ahead and put the tank back up. Let's go ahead and finish this job. Give me 1 second. So we're basically gonna set this up right here. That way that this will actually rub up there before it even rubs on the tank itself. It should only have like 3 gallons of fuel in there, which it does, thank God. I'm able to lift this thing up. There we go, 1 in. Well, we are working in the dark now. I think the covers themselves, I'll have to put them on tomorrow, and that way I can make sure this thing doesn't leak. So the leak was coming from right here, and yeah, it was pinching. Right up here, there's a piece of metal where it was pinching out. Let me show you guys. So right up there, that's where it was pinching at. I don't know if you guys could probably see the glue, the epoxy coming down. But it pinched out right there. The fuel tank is on there already. We're not gonna put the plastics on until we make sure that it doesn't leak anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it on the floor and finish this video up. So give me 1 second. All right, guys, so video. This is where we conclude the video. Like I said, smoke leak detector. If you guys wanna pick one up, it's gonna be on the description below of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for leaving a like, comment, and of course, sharing this video with anybody that would like a smoke leak detector. Go ahead and check it out. Also, guys, subscribing to this channel, it might not take a lot. One quick click, one quick touch on your phone screen. It doesn't take a lot, but it means a lot to me. So thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you so much. Bye. I got a text message from my wife, and she basically said after driving around the car 2 days, and she doesn't drive far, So that's probably why it took so long for her to get that notification in her car. But the check engine light came off, so meaning that the EVAP system in the car realized that there is no EVAP leak anymore because we, you know, covered up that hole. So all is good. And I'll put the text message somewhere around in here. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.